Hi, good evening everyone. I'm James here from SG at 9 Property. Welcome. Today our topic is something related to this upcoming song I'm playing now. Are you excited? Are you familiar with this song or not? This is a very careful. This is our first episode of our live sharing. This is our very casual and carefree sharing. I'm sure that everyone is thinking about, I've been seeing news that about $1 million HDB, and it's getting more and more hot in the news, and more transactions are coming. More and more transactions coming about $1 million HDB. So today's topic is about $1 million HDB. We'll be thinking about this one. How will your HDB will be the next $1 million HDB? So today's topic, I will share with you what is the transaction so far, and what are the trend also, and see whether your property of HDB will be the next $1 million HDB. Will it be okay? Shall we get started? Okay. I count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we start. So let's go review first. I stop the music a while. Okay, let's review first. What are the transactions for the past 12 months, the past 1 year, 2021? Transaction that has been in the $1 million HDB. So if you notice that, based on the record of the last 2021 transaction of $1 million HDB, most of them are from where? Most of them are actually from good location, which is the prime locations, which is what our current prime housing, the scheme, HDB scheme. They will say like your Dawson, your Henderson, your things like your Bukit Merah, etc. Like D3, District 3, kind of HDB, Cantonment kind also, or Pinnacle and Aston. These are the general HDB that is $1 million. Even up to this whole year, I can say that almost 90 or 90% all this kind of HDB, the rare kind DBSS, like your Natura and Love, Mission kind, all are very good location, very sought after locations. So in this year, we did have some very different kind of transactions, different kind of like trend. We have seen that outskirt area tend to have $1 million HDB. Like what? Like the latest one we see, Bukit Batok HDB, EA transacted at $1 million. It's a record transaction. I personally think, wow, it has been coming to Bukit Batok already. So I assume that no place can not be $1 million HDB now.
Sorry.
Okay. Sorry, there's some technical glitch. Okay. So as I say, fast food transaction also as the Sky, the P, the Payo, etc. All these are all locations that's always sought of. So one thing also need to take note. Besides all these locations, what about the age of the property? Most of them are still quite young relatively, based on what we understand for last year, 2021. So, new trend in 2022, year of Tiger. What happened? We have seen transaction, 2 Yishun flat already transacted $1 million HDB. Why? Have you thought of why are they able to transact $1 million? Why people are willing to pay? Today we are not discussing why people are willing to pay. We are going to share with you what are the characteristics where your property leader. Okay, let's see. 2 Yishun flats has been sold, as I said, this year so far. And beside that, there's also $1 million HDB that's been transacted in Pasir Ris and in Hougang also. All these are, we will never think of this will be $1 million HDB before. I personally also wouldn't think that before, but it has been shown, has been sold, has been recorded into the history. And why are they able to do so? Well, in order to share even more, we also share with you some of the transaction records and some of the characteristics right after this. So beside that, the latest one in July, Bukit Batok and Marine Parade. What we understand, Marine Parade is not even new flat now. So this Marine Parade is a very nice trend that very old HDB can be $1 million HDB. So what is their characteristics? Bukit Batok is still relatively probably about 70 balance lease, but Marine Parade This one really is really based on the view, I guess. The unblocked sea view. Let's see, what are the characteristics? I'm sure you also be very curious with your HDB with the $1 million HDB. So personally, I think, I think that these are some of the characteristics of $1 million HDB. First is the location, and we have seen this has been always been supported so far since last few years, many strengths. $1 million HDB is the trend. Like the location, like Pinnacle, even the 4-room can be $1 million HDB. It's the location, it's the rarity, because it's very rare that there's such a HDB in a right near the CBD kind of HDB. So it's the location, it's the rarity, I call it rarity. It's very rare that there's kind of properties. It's either you pay a kind of money to get a kind of HDB, or you don't buy the area. As simple as that. Second thing, I also personally think that the location also, besides convenience of the locations, I also personally think that the location also reflects that the lifestyle of the location. Like Marine Parade, it's not really like near the city area, or near very convenient, as in you can just just take a bus to some of the near central area. No, not true. But Marine Parade has its own beauty. Why? People like the unblocked sea view, the greenery like Bukit Batok. The EA has been sold at $1 million. These are the transactions that we have been seeing. So lifestyle come to a trend also. And besides that is the size. Not only about age of HDB as you get is older HDB, we all know that the size is big. Like a 5-room used to be 1,003 over square feet, or even 1,004 depending on location, could be 1,004. But now a 5-room could be at 110 square meter, which could be about your 1,184 or 1,216 square feet. So the size did varies, and the size and the layout is very different. So the size and the layout and the rarity, I have shown that is the rarity, the rare, how rare the property is. Like the EA and the EM, they are no longer being built since 1990s series, the last BTO. No more. Either you have it or no more. So far there's no longer in building, unless there's change in policy. But I don't think so at the moment, any changes. So people want, after COVID probably also, people tend to want to have the size of the HDB, and they feel that they have the size. Alternatively also, another reason behind this is because there could be a downgrader having a big property, and they want to downsize, but the size is still relatively important to them. They don't want to trade in the size. They don't mind trading in the kind of asset from private to HDB, but they don't want to trade in the fact that the size. So size, well, in HDB perspective, is the age is older and it's much more rare. Just like a jumbo flat, it's rare. The EA, EM is rare. So definitely, I'm trying to say that size make a difference. If your property has the size, you have the chance of $1 million HDB. But it has to be in a location that people prefer, such as the lifestyle. If not, I just say lifestyle, the convenience, by opinion. Next, the view. Let's say the view is the view, which is I said the sea view earlier already. The view, which is part of the location. Actually, it's tied to the locations. How it looks like, how the location, the view is. Do you face the greenery? Do you face the sea view, unblocked view, MBS view that Henderson recently transacted also $1.03 million HDB. So these are the things that I personally think these are the few factors that can be a characteristic of $1 million HDB. Okay, so we also know that there's a past transaction so far. So can your $1 million HDB be more $1 million HDB, or there will be more $1 million in the outskirts? And that will mean that the supply and demand. So based on that, I will share with you some of the statistics. So this is the overall trend of HDB transactions for the past few quarters, from 2010 to 2022, every quarterly. As you can see, the transaction of the HDB has been going to an uptrend now. A very uptrend so far, since the COVID. We all know there is a supply and demand thingy, because less flat is ready, delay time of completion, etc. We all know that. But it has been a very bullish period for many quarters. But take note, the volume really, as you see in the news, it dropped tremendously by half. Could it be due to cheap rate? I don't think so now, because the past quarter haven't cheap rate yet, haven't 7 months yet. So I don't think it will impact the quarter result. But it dropped really almost by half based on data. And you can see one interesting fact. The price also start to stagnate a bit. The per square feet, also start to stagnate a bit. But what exactly is the type of property that has been stagnant and the drop? Drop generally, I think all the HDB across the board, all the volume drop. But we don't know what are the property type actually caused the drop. I actually disregard the 2-room flat and 3-room flat because they probably don't have many transactions. So I straight go to the most common 4-room flat and the most hot 5-room, and those are reality room E and EM. So now we're going to the 4-room kind of flat, how it looks like. We can see that, as I said, the volume really dropped. It's based on the volume, it's really dropped, really confirm more than enough. This is very clear cut, more than enough. But one trend that we can see from here is very clear. The quarter drop also dropped the price per square feet. How I do this data is to be very clear to you that it's a 4-room flat regardless of size and location. I'm very transparent, it's very across the board. We don't have it's cherry pick kind of transaction, no, across the board. So let's see the 5-room flat. 5-room flat, very interesting. You can see that it's still very strong. It's still very strong. This only shows one thing. The volume also dropped, as I say, all transaction volume dropped, no matter across the board. We got HDB type. But the price never show it's been weakened. So if you have good news here in the 5-room flat, likely that you still have already next few quarter have a good month based on the trend and you can say it's a technical perspective. So it did show that COVID did change people's perspective that they want a bigger flat, bigger unit type, or they actually prompt upgraders to a 5-room flat. Next, the rare kind of HDB, will it show a different result or will be same as or even stronger than our 5-room? Let's see. You can see that you can see the huge difference. You can see that this one is just like it's still steep, but you can see the E and E how steep it is. Personally, I think it's very steep. It's just like from bottoms up. From right down to the bottoms, it goes straight up. It looks very, if you know a technical perspective, it looks very bullish. What does it mean? It means that if your location likely to be not too bad location, or general location and very rank of EM, you still have a very good chance of getting the kind of $1 million HDB or price that you really wanted, then your desired price. You have a very good chance. And you can see the volume of transaction for the past 2 quarters, it's actually much higher than the past 2 data. The drop is not so, although it's still dropped, but the drop is not that tremendous. It's still the drop slightly less than enough, you can say that, based on this record data. So, by saying so much about the past transaction, the data is useless. I know it's useless. It's already past. But you can see that this is a trend. Will the trend continue? I don't have a crystal ball. I cannot tell you whether it be still continuing the same trend. But I can show you what is the upcoming. What is the supply and demand. We know there's demand, but the demand, is it the demand that caused it to drop now? We likely see that it's been slightly to be weakened a bit because of the volume has been dropping. Okay, is it because of MOP getting lesser, unit getting lesser in the market? We won't know. It could be due to the price, and the price of the asking and the price of the buying haven't reached the benchmark, meet the transaction point yet. Okay, let's see. The future we cannot determine, but we can see what is going to happen in the future. As in what is happening later on. As what is the supply. Supply will reflect the result, or the demand will reflect the end result. Okay, what is the supply? We all know that this is in the news, early in the news already, in this year also. Early this year, this is the news already. 31,000 already going to MOP this year. So we're now in the third quarter of 2022. Now we are actually seeing the trend getting lesser, as in the speed is there, the transaction volume getting lesser. I don't think 31,000 can be straight, as in this one whole 3 quarter can digest so fast. Unlikely, which I personally don't think so. Maybe you can prove me wrong. It's been digested already, 31,000. Very unlikely, personally I think. Okay, but very curiously, it's still got quite a sufficient number of MOP HDB in 2022. But it starts to down, the transaction start to, you can see the transaction wants to drop. It only show one thing. Personally, my personal take show one thing, that volume drop because of demand may be softened. Likely that the demand is softened. If not, if the MOP is still coming out a good 10% in the market, every estate, chances that it was still very healthy, the volume will still get very healthy. It's very rare to see the volume drop so much, personally I think. Next, we also need to take note of this news. This is N2021, they came out with this news. This is by HDB, our website. Besides saying that there's 31,000 coming MOP, this is our supply, current supply. What is going to be future supply? That also determine whether your flat can demand a higher price in the next 5-8 years down the road. If you intend to hold your HDB, or you are already in your HDB 3 years before MOP, or 2 years before MOP, or even 1 year before MOP. So let's see. You can see this news. This news is a very big news because HDB said that they will increase 35% over the next 2 years the supply. It means that to me this news means that there will be more HDB upcoming. So in short, don't worry, there's no big deal. It's just a location whether you like it, you can ballot, or you're lucky enough to get the total number that you wanted. If you're buying a total, just like buying a $10 total. If you luckily get BTO the unit, then you tilt the total. Yeah, they're lucky. So you can see that so many BTO coming out. So I personally think that there's a good chance of youngster or second timer are moving to this BTO to try, because maybe they are second timer, they got flat already. So these are the future supply of 5 years, 8 years down the road. So to summarize, there is future supply. As we can see, many are coming. 2 years of 35% increase. And there is 31,000 MOP. This 31,000 could be another 1 or 2 years later down the road coming out also. As in, people may tend to stay 1 or 2 years down the road after MOP, or 1 or 2 years down the road to search what they want before they buy HDB, sell their HDB to buy another unit. These are a few things that happen. But in short, supply is very, very healthy. So based on supply and demand theory, if supply is very healthy, but demand has to be very healthy in order to match the price that we wanted, as it still continue to go up. It's a supply and demand theory. So in short, likely is due to, my personal take is, it is likely due to the demand could be softened to cause this data to be tweeted a bit so drastically. So you asked me in this whole episode, I'm trying to say that supply is there, demand might be softened. So we must see the next quarter, which is the 2022 fourth quarter, see whether it will be a different trend. We can see the last year, the 2021 fourth quarter, the volume is very, very active. We can show you. Let me show you the last year fourth quarter. Because usually last time our fourth quarter is a bit quiet, every year December, November, holiday season, you go holiday. So the transaction volume get not so healthy than Let's see. This is the overall transaction volume. Fourth quarter, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. You see, 2022, 2020 Q4. It's still very high. 20, maybe you can say that it's due to there is no traveling due to COVID. That's why I must say that whether the fourth quarter of 2022 will see a different trend. So let's go back to 2021 fourth quarter. I count back. This is the fourth quarter. You see, also very high transaction volume. Let's see whether this trend remains continuously high. So we also do a upcoming fourth quarter. We also do a review again for these transactions. So stay tuned with us for our next live. For this next quarter live. Next episode next Tuesday we also do a live. But the live will be another topic we will post out later. So do you have any questions on the floor? So if you have any questions, we can answer your question about HDB, besides our transaction volume, or whether you're about HDB or not, we don't know. We can try our best to answer your questions. We also can answer other HDB or private related questions. So I assume there's no more questions. I give a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. If not, I will end this live. Thank you. I'm James Ho at SG at 9 Property. See you next Tuesday, 9 p.m. on Facebook.